Al Arias, and we are ready for our first very special guest. Welcome, Mr. Jeff Peterson from Mobile Corporation.
Thanks for having me on,
Jeff,
Barry.
you there?
It's a pleasure. Yes, thank you very much.
We have Jeff on a call in. Jeff, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How's the reception on your end?
It's good. It's good. Welcome. So, Jeff Peterson, Mobile Corporation, very unique and innovative approach in employment today. Tell us a little bit about Mobile Corporation, what it is you do, and how you do it.
Thanks a lot, Barry, and thanks for having me on. Great show so far, and always enjoy listening to you. Mobile is developing a brand new platform for working online. We have two world views that are quite exciting. One of them is that knowledge-based jobs are moving online. The other one is that online communications in general and tech are all moving to mobile. We bring those two concepts together at our brand new community, which is Mobile.co online, Mobile.co, which is being developed to allow folks to work online and more specifically to work and make money through their mobile devices. We think it's the first time in history that that's happened in a significant way, and we think we can change the world and make it a better place.
Great. Well, tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get to the point where Mobile Corporation came into play? What did you do before this?
So our group specifically did the first national brand for Hispanics on the Internet, the first consumer-facing Internet brand. It was called Quepasa.com. We did that in the late 90s. Our main investor was Gloria Estefan and Sony Corp. That became a national brand. Quepasa went public in 1999 for the first time. Stock went to a market capitalization of north of $400 million in its first year, which we believed was a big validation for the Hispanic market and the changing demographics in tech and for the United States. We see another big change happening right now in terms of the adoption of new technology, and that is that knowledge-based jobs are moving online, and folks are starting to move online. At the same time, everywhere you look, folks are doing the things they do online through mobile devices. You just can't walk through an airport anymore without seeing everybody buried in their smartphones. And we think at some point real soon, lots of those folks are going to want to do more than just talk, which is what they're doing on social networks now. We know they're going to want to make money too. And so that's where Mobile Corp comes in, and our brand new communities, Mobile.co and Mobile.pro, which allow folks to work and make money online.
Okay. Now, you talked about knowledge-based employees. Exactly what types of industries and what types of positions? What does that mean?
That's a great distinction because not every job can be done online, right? You can't be a police officer or a fireman through your mobile phone, at least not yet. Many
monitor them through there.
Yeah.
That's right. Many categories of jobs are moving online, and these are knowledge-based jobs. So anything you can do with your brain. The first big area we've seen move online was web development, programming, everything from HTML programming to scripting and game development, mobile game, and traditional game development. It's all been moving online. So programming type of jobs, consulting jobs, accounting, legal research. You know, there's attorneys that are working online for their clients and making a lot of money doing so these days. Medical professionals that are doing image interpreting all over the world, and that's another important distinction. The area of working online is experiencing growth on every continent right now. It's not just the United States. So this also gives us some exciting opportunities to work together with our international partners.
Now, how are you going to source for the workers?
What's that? I didn't hear you for a minute. Sorry.
That's okay. How are you going to source for the workers?
Yeah, so the growth is on both sides, right? It's not just on the labor market side, but the employer pool is also preferring to find and seek out talent online too. It gives them the ability to review more folks, to look at more resumes, to look at more skill sets, and find the ideal workers. So technology is supposed to, and often does, make things more efficient. And we're seeing that increased efficiency come into the labor markets now. We think it's the only time in history that society is going to shift from a world where folks don't work online to a world where people do work online. And Mobile Corp is very excited to be right at the core of that transition. We think it's a huge change.
That's amazing. Do you see a bigger focus on people connecting up on permanent employment or temporary employment? Where do you see it going?
Yeah, so the previous generation, I guess, folks in prior educational systems and society in general, we always expected things to be quite simple. We would be educated one time, we'd learn one industry, and we'd work at that job for the rest of our lives. Of course, that's changed. Folks are often engaged now in continuous learning that lasts the rest of their lives, and employment has changed too. Jobs are being done on project-based jobs where folks get to know each other, and then where a match is found between employer and employee, oftentimes those project-based jobs convert into longer-term jobs or permanent or semi-permanent positions. So there's a huge change that's come into the way people work. Things ultimately ought to be getting more efficient, and those efficiencies are better for both sides.
Wow. So it seems to me as though this is where we've seen traditional employment agencies and headhunters finding people for permanent positions. This is going to really impact their business, isn't it?
Well, it can impact their business, but a lot of areas where we've traditionally resisted change as a society, we find that when we embrace change, we find new opportunities. Just because things change, it doesn't mean that they're going to get worse. In a lot of cases, they get better. We have folks that are working from home now that didn't have a chance to have the types of jobs or have the types of employers they're working with now. We have folks in our international context that are working for top-tier companies that they never could have accessed before. We have single moms that are working from home that may have had a difficult time getting the types of opportunities they have now to work as many hours as they are because of they don't have the need to be driving around and fighting traffic. They can just work from home. A whole bunch of new opportunities that this particular macro shift in the way labor is done has brought to the table. It's very, very exciting.
Well, and I also think it's exciting because it certainly seems to fill a need that we've got so many people that are underemployed in America today. And now if it's project-based, they can maybe supplement a part-time job that's not really, meeting all of their, economic needs, correct?
That's very insightful. That's exactly what's happening. We're seeing folks that are working at traditional jobs. They're supplementing their income working online at night. They're being discovered. American knowledge workers, we believe, are the best educated, highest quality workers in the world. And where we've got international employers that are hiring Americans, like we see a trend in the marketplace where Chinese employers, Japanese employers are coming in and hiring U.S.-based knowledge workers simply because the quality of their work is so high. We're seeing some of that Asian and international capital flow back over to the United States, which is a very positive development and different than what we've seen in recent years.
You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with homegrown San Diego businesses and people that are making a difference in our community. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-hosts, Andrea Kay and Al Arias, and our guest is Mr. Jeff Peterson from Mobile Corporation. Jeff, I do a lot of work with different nonprofits that help disabled vets. It seems like with, be it disabled veterans or just a lot of people in the disabled community, this has got to be a huge piece to help keep them, off of some of the burdens that hit our country. Is there a play in here for the disabled community too?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the best things about working with knowledge-based jobs. And we could really tap into the intelligence and the smarts of our workers. Not only do we find incredible quality in the base of knowledge workers in the United States, but folks that couldn't traditionally drive around town and go to job interviews or sit behind a desk all day. I was recently involved in an academic project where we did quite a bit of writing, and towards the end of the project, I learned that one of our key writers actually was working from home in a wheelchair. I had no idea as we'd gone through the project originally. The quality of the work was just unbelievable. You never would have known that this person fell into a special category, yet we were able to view the quality of the work the way we ought to, which is based on the intelligence of the individual and not how they may be traditionally presented in society.
Jeff, what kind of mobile devices are these participants using? Is it their telephone or?
Yeah. So our approach towards our brand, Mobile Corp, is that mobile means more than just the technology itself. Of course, we have a lot of quality control workers that are able to work from their smartphones. They're actually able to review screenshots and supervise the work of their partners that they're working with right there on their smartphone or their tablet, and they can be earning an hourly wage. They could literally be sitting up on top of a mountain somewhere and earning their hourly wage through their mobile device. or they could be working from home on a laptop. We believe that the approach towards branding Mobile Corp also applies to the concept that business in general is more mobile than ever before. Folks travel more than they ever did. They work from cafes. They work from non-permanent positions. Society in general is just becoming more mobile. And everywhere you look, you'll see that validated.
So the advantage to the employers is not just that you're matching them up with great labor, but you're actually providing the supervision and the management as well, correct?
That's right. This is a piece that's been missing from online working for quite a while. It's always been a challenge to supervise the quality of the work that's being done, and we believe we solved that. So we filed a preliminary patent, and we've got some great intellectual property we've developed around the concept of ensuring quality control and remote supervision of these workers that are working from home or whatever remote venue they might be doing. We believe our patents make it better to hire someone online than offline. That means you don't need an office anymore. You don't need the overhead you need. You don't need to hire a manager to go in and look over everybody's shoulder. Our technology allows you to remotely look over their shoulder, or even a group of supervisors to remotely look over their shoulder every 5, 10, or 15 minutes and tighten up that supervisory chain more than's ever been done in history using technology and using mobile devices.
Well, I'm very impressed. When I first started looking at Mobile Corporation, I started thinking, well, this is kind of a cross between Monster.com and LinkedIn, but that's just where it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And the icing on the cake, Barry, is that there's still no ubiquitous, famous brand for mobile. There's not a Google out there in the marketplace that, in terms of consumer-facing internet brand, when someone thinks of mobile, everybody knows what that brand is. That's what we seek to build at the end of the day in Mobile.co. So we've acquired a great brand. These .co domains are real popular right now. We've seen that in other online communities like Vine.co and AngelList and others that are using these .co brands. So keep an eye on the growth of Mobile Corporation. We think sometime real soon, Mobile.co will be one of the best-known brands out there on the internet and coming to a mobile device near you.
Great. And you've already launched. There's no upcoming launch date. You're already in play, aren't you?
We are. Technology is being developed using our own technology, by the way. We use online workers. Whenever you're in an alpha or beta stage, there's kinks to be worked out. But the community is growing. They'll continue to grow. And we look forward to an extended period of very robust growth. Great.
Well, Jeff, we're about ready to head into a break, and I can't express enough appreciation for you being with us today. I encourage everybody to go on. Its website is Mobile.co, correct?
That's right. And Barry, thanks for having me on. Your show is great. It's always a pleasure to listen to you. It's a privilege to be invited on, and I continue to be a fan. I look forward to being in touch in the future.
Great. Well, thanks for being with us. So you're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with San Diego businesses and the homegrown people that help us stay in business here locally. This is FinancialNewsAndTalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be back right after the break with more homegrown business close-up, and we will have with us Mr. Steve Kang from 4L Magazine.